Welcome back to another episode of Let's Play Castlevania Aria of Sorrow for the Game Boy Advance. In this episode, we are going to tackle the chapel and see how far we can get. Between now and our last episode, I actually farmed a new weapon off of the rock armor, which is the hammer. I'll show you that here. It adds about 20 points of attack, so we're going to go ahead and use that. It's much stronger than our previous weapon, and as you can see, it's got a fairly decent range, but it's got a nice arc to it, so you can hit vertically as well. Let's get going. So in the chapel here, our first enemy we come across, we've already gotten the soul for, which are ghosts. So we're just going to keep going. And if you head up and to the left, that brings us into the first attic. And up to the left of that is our $100 coin. Not a bad little prize. Now, if you just head down and then back up and to the right this time, that'll bring you to the other side of the loft, where we meet our first new enemy, which is the Bone Pillar. And he drops both a soul and a mind up item. I'll go ahead and farm that off screen and we'll be right back. Alright, we've got the Bone Pillar soul. It says that it radiates flame, so we're going to take a look at that. This actually took me about an hour and a half to farm, so be thankful for it. There we go. Pretty much produces a flamethrower effect, so it can cause continuous damage. It's pretty worthwhile, actually, especially if you get it powered up later. On these bells, you want to make sure that you're using the flying armor soul so that you don't accidentally fall down and have to go back up. Just a time saver. This potion here is a mind up. You can farm those again off the bone pillars as well. You can't actually get these potions up here, so we'll come back for those once we get an ability that allows us to jump higher. And hovering over to the left here, if we drop past this wall, there's a secret platform below it, and that has the bamboo sword. And I will show you what that does in just a sec here. Stupid bone pillars. Alright. And the bamboo sword is basically like a lame version of the hammer. It's much less damage, same exact attack though, so we're going to switch back. And that pretty much covers the first attic. So we're going to continue to the east now. And in this second room, that brings us to our second new enemy, which is the giant ghost. This also has a soul, so we're going to farm that. Alright, I've got the giant ghost soul, and this provides a protective barrier which basically nullifies really weak attacks like projectiles and stuff. So it's pretty useful for certain fights. You'll see a specific boss later that this works great on. Anyways, we'll switch back to flying armor and I will continue exploring. If you take this upper path, you can actually continue and get another $100 coin, and then you can take these stairs up to the second attic. And here we meet our next new enemy, which is the Durga. The Durga drops several items and also her soul, so I will farm both of those off screen. Alright, we got the Durga soul. This allows us to throw a katana similar to the old axe armor soul, except that it continues without returning like a boomerang. It's fairly useful, it does decent damage, but I consider the axe armor superior simply because you can get more hits out of it. Alright, and I've farmed the equipment off of the Durga as well now. I'll show you those. Gym clothes is the upgraded version of leather plate basically, so we will equip that. Durga also drops a coffee consumable item, but I'm not too worried about collecting all of the consumables for monsters because they're extremely rare drops. Like, they can take hours to get, and I never use consumables, so sorry, I gotta skip those. We got a rapier here, though. So if you didn't have one earlier, this is a great place to get one. And we will continue down after I get rid of these bone pillars. And that clears out this attic. So let's continue on. First, we'll try to fill in the last percentage of the map in this room. So we're going to head left here. Oh, looks like I can't duck under those swords. Oh well. Alright, so that covers that map percentage. And if we continue down even lower, that'll bring us to the save point. I'll use that to refill my energy. And we'll head into the next area, which is a hallway with a new unique enemy called the Une. And it's basically a plant. Now, if you use the zombie soldier soul, you can actually toss grenades into those little pits with the Une and farm them without getting in danger of being too close to them. Alright, I'll farm that soul, we'll be right back. Alright, we got the unit soul, and this allows us to bury landmines throughout its turf. Basically, it creates a trap that if monsters walk into it causes somewhat continuous damage for a moment or two. Pretty much useless in my opinion, though. I never use it. But you can use it if you like. Alright, we're going to take the axe armor soul for the boss coming up because it can deal a lot of damage. And we will head over to the boss. Alright, this is Manticore. Basically, you want to keep a distance from it if you can. Its first attack is a fireball, and you definitely don't want to get hit by that. It'll do major damage to your health, as in 50 or more points. And then its tail can also poison you if it stabs you, which will lower your damage greatly when you hit the monster later on when you're poisoned. So if you ever see its tail shaking, just run away as well. And it will never shoot more than 3 fireballs at a time, so just be patient. And that's pretty much it. Alright, well, I hope you enjoyed this Let's Play, and we will get back to the chapel in the next version. See you then.